which motivates a shot like this. The secrecy and voyeuristic qualities of this scene are perfectly communicated with the choice of a telephoto lens.
I want to talk about loyalty, Toby. Intelligence has been leaked, Toby. Someone's been taking files from the circus.
Unlike wide-angle lenses, telephoto lenses also compress space.
Things aren't always what they seem. George, you should know that.
This is great for isolating a character in a crowd, like in this shot from The Pursuit of Happiness. Chris Gardner's cathartic moment is amplified and contrasted by the ambivalent crowd around him. While this scene uses a telephoto lens to capture a joyous moment, The Graduate uses it to capture desperation. In this scene, Ben is frantically running to stop Elaine's wedding. The telephoto lens compresses the distance and flattens the space, making his running appear desperate and futile. While the last few lenses we've discussed are defined by their focal length, our next two lenses are defined by their focusing abilities. Macro lenses. Macro lenses, sometimes referred to as micro lenses, don't fall within a specific focal range like our previous sections. For instance, you could have an extreme wide-angle macro lens with a focal length of 15 millimeters. Or you could have a telephoto macro lens with a focal length of 200 millimeters. Macro lenses are defined by their ability to capture extreme close-up shots with the sharpest detail. This makes macro lenses perfect for extreme close-up shots. When choosing macro lenses, there are two things that must be considered: magnification ratio and minimum focusing distance. Macro lenses have a 1-to-1 magnification ratio, meaning the size of the image captured is the same size as in real life. Other macro lenses can have a 5-to-1 magnification ratio, meaning the size of the image captured is 5 times bigger than real life. In regards to minimum focusing distance, this is simply how close or how far you need to be to your subject to stay in focus. If you're shooting distant subjects such as insects and don't want to cast shadows or scare them off, you'll want to use a macro lens with a longer focal length. If you're able to get up close and personal with your subject and want to include more of the background, you may opt for a macro lens with a shorter focal length. The macro lens can often feel like a magnifying glass hovering over important plot details. And we can't talk about detail without mentioning David Fincher. In Fincher's investigative films like Zodiac and Seven, macro lens shots are used to magnify clues and details that demand our attention and force us to participate in the film's investigation. While we cannot definitively confirm all of these shots were taken with a macro lens, these are the type of extreme close-up shots that macro lenses are perfect for capturing. Moving on to our final lens, the tilt-shift lens. A normal lens gives a consistent plane of focus. In a tilt-shift lens, however, the lens focus mechanism can be shifted left or right or tilted up and down to manipulate the image. In the movie Game Night, characters are taken on a journey similar to a board game.
The game that we're going to play tonight is so epic that we don't need a board and we do not need pieces.
Aerial tilt-shift shots are used in the film to create a miniature effect, making houses and large settings appear like set pieces on a board game. In the film The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, cinematographer Roger Deakins wanted to use the blurring effects of a tilt-shift lens. However, he wanted to modify the tilt-shift lens to create a more dreamy, vintage and stylized look that matches many of the photographs taken in that time period. So he teamed up with Otto Nemens International to create the appropriately named Dekenizer lens, a riff on the tilt-shift lens that also diffracts colors and vignettes the image. The result is a completely unique visual style that echoes the time period of the film. So these are the 6 types of lenses most commonly used by cinematographers today. Different lenses can capture the same subject in a completely different way. So let's try an experiment by using one of the most common types of scenes in a film, the dialogue scene. Pay attention to each example and how the lens choice affects the mood and feel of the scene. We'll start with an extreme wide-angle lens.
Thinking about me.
Look, I'm trying to do something that's important.
This is not important.
It's important to me.
In this scene from Birdman, we can see the extreme wide-angle lens creating a subtle fisheye effect.
This is my career.
The film was shot entirely on extreme wide-angle lenses. This helped create an intimate and seamless look, while also creating a slight distortion.
It's not important, okay? You're not important. Get used to it.
Echoing the surrealism of the film.
Birdman, the Phoenix rises.
Now, here's a scene shot with a more standard wide-angle lens.
What can I do for you, sir?
Well, sir, it's this rug I have. It really tied the room together.
You told Brandt on the phone, he told me. Where do I fit in?
In this scene from The Big Lebowski, the wide-angle lens provides a flatter image, without any noticeable distortion, perhaps to highlight a more grounded story.
Yes?
Oh, so you know that they were trying to piss on your rug?
Did I urinate on your rug?
You mean, did you personally come and pee on my rug?
Hello? Do you speak English, sir? Parla usted inglés? I'll ask you again. Did I urinate on your rug?
It also creates a bit more distance between our two characters, who are clearly on opposing sides of the issue.
Person?
Come on, man. I'm not trying to scam anybody here. You know.
Now let's look at a scene shot with a standard lens.
What's the matter? What's bothering you? I'll handle it. I told you I can handle it. I'll handle it.
In this scene from The Godfather, you can see how a standard lens brings the characters a bit closer, while still making the audience feel more present.
I knew that Santino was going to have to go through all this. And Fredo was. And I never wanted this for you.
It is said that Francis Ford Coppola shot the majority of the film on a standard 40mm lens, perhaps to ensure an unbiased, neutral look into organized crime. And finally, an example using a telephoto lens.
Captain, relax. Nobody get hurt. No Al-Qaeda here. Just business. We want money.
In this scene from Captain Phillips, the use of a telephoto lens captures the tone perfectly. It provides a voyeuristic perspective, as if the audience is hiding like the rest of the crew, trying not to be seen by the Somali pirates.
Hey! Look at me. Sure. Look at me. Sure. I'm the captain now. ايه رايك يا باشا؟
All of these scenes are standard dialogue scenes, but as you can see, the lens they were shot on makes them all uniquely different. Understanding the unique characteristics of every type of lens will not only help you capture a better shot, but will help you tell a better story. You'll find a link in the description for our free ebook on camera lenses. The lenses we've covered in this video are all spherical lenses. In a separate video, we'll discuss how anamorphic lenses bring an entirely new dimension to lens choice. And in the next episode of the Shot List, we'll explore frame rate. and how different frame rates directly affect how an audience experiences a scene. Subscribe, click the bell, and we'll see you again in the next episode.